Up with KREM begins now.
Thank you so much for joining us on your Monday morning. 3 new middle schools are changing the landscape of Spokane Public Schools. Coming up, we'll explain the changes the district is making.
And outside, a dry start to our week, but we are expecting plenty of rain and snow to come later on this week. Find out what the timeline looks like and just how much to expect coming up.
The CDC says the flu season is off to an early start. We break down who is the most at risk for this type of strain. Well, good morning. Happy Monday.
Yeah, we've made it to the start of the week. We saw a pretty nice weekend. It was a little rainy on Saturday, but now we're dry.
Just mild temperatures, though.
Yeah.
Yesterday was actually so beautiful.
Yeah, it was a great day yesterday. Sun came out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm not complaining. But this week, we have a little bit more wetter weather. Also some snow we're going to see later on in the week, right?
Yeah, it looks like we've got a better chance here in Spokane. It's been a very mild December so far. It was a mild November. So we do have chances of snow and rain increasing later on in the week. Right now, our best chance for snow in the Spokane area is going to be late Tuesday night into early Wednesday. Here's the view outside downtown Spokane as we start off the morning. A little bit of fog development, but you can't really see that as well on this view here. Dense fog advisory is in effect up until noon as you look down toward about the south central portion of the state. This includes over Ellensburg, which means across I-90. If you are going to be traveling to the west side or back from the west side, keep in mind you could encounter some areas of some pretty dense fog along the way. What it looks like as far as visibility goes is we are seeing some trouble up in Deer Park at the Spokane International Airport. Spokane downtown is at 3 miles, so better than a quarter mile, but still seeing some problems related to visibility. Same situation in Pullman, in Walla Walla, and in Tri-Cities to start off the morning. In the 12-hour forecast, we're hoping that those temperatures rise steadily to about mid-30s, 38 degrees is what we're hoping for in Spokane. The sun comes up at 7:26. That means that don't expect the fog to improve between now and then. In fact, it will probably get worse before it gets better. Then headed into the evening, we see clouds thicken. Temperatures will decline back down to just about freezing. By the time we get into late Tuesday, early Wednesday, we will see the arrival of plenty more rain and snow, but for tonight and tomorrow, expect dry skies to persist. 531, just about to hit 532. Dana Marie, back over to you.
Thank you, Evan. With those colder temperatures, that means the flu season is well underway. The CDC says it's the earliest start in almost 2 decades. New numbers show 30 states and Puerto Rico have either widespread or regional flu activity. Right now, it's a strain that mostly affects children and people under 50 years old, but some health experts say the early start means the season will be more severe. Others say it's just too early to tell. At least 2 people have died from the flu so far this season in Washington. Boeing wants to restore confidence in its 737 MAX planes. Company leaders said regaining public confidence is the next step. They also announced the goal is to have planes return to service by early 2020. The 737 MAX has been grounded since 2 deadly crashes killed more than 300 people. Skiers and snowboarders may have a shorter season this year. The National Weather Service is reporting mountains have half the snow they usually do. Many ski resorts in North Idaho and Washington have had to delay opening certain runs due to the lack of snow. The Weather Service tweeted out, "This is no different from last year, actually." A Washington dog and his handler are back home after months of training in Washington, D.C. K9 Hansel, we're learning all about arson detection. He is now the only arson detection dog in the entire Pacific Northwest. As an arson K9, he knows how to work a fire investigation and is also trained to smell people's clothes and detect if they've been around a fire. Well, that's your Morning Rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKREM on social media.
Now, your neighborhood school may be changing in the next few years. We talked to the Spokane Public School District, who say the changes will help with the growing number of students here. This road here, Mount Vernon, is one of the Spokane Public Schools boundary zones right now. So students on this side of the road go to Adams Elementary, and then students on this side of the road actually go to Hamblin Elementary. But because of the new middle schools that are being built over the next few years, these current boundary lines could be completely changed. Spokane Public Schools is building 3 new middle schools, 2 on the north side, here and here, and then 1 here on the south side. The district has set up a committee that will be in charge of figuring out the best way to move school boundary lines around with these new schools.
We're going to look at grandfathering so we don't separate siblings if at all possible. We're going to look at neighborhood makeups, we're going to look at school makeups, so diversity, socioeconomic factors.
They've already chosen who will be on that committee, and they will start meeting next month. By the end of next year, their plan is to have a rough draft of the changes.
And then we can start at the next level of community engagement, which would be, let's talk about those draft boundaries and get some feedback from the community.
So that by summer of 2021, the new boundaries will be finalized. But the changes won't start right away. It will happen gradually over the next few years as each middle school opens. And this won't just affect middle school boundaries, though. All grades could see different boundary lines after the middle schools open. Here's why.
As those middle schools come online, that changes the feeder patterns from our elementary schools, and then also correspondingly changes our feeder patterns to our high schools.
So it's a matter of keeping each school in the district balanced. In Spokane, Nicole Hernandez, KREM 2 News.
Thank you so much, Nicole. Well, in the past few weeks, lawsuits have been filed and reports have been released having to do with sexual assault involving the ride-hailing services Lyft and Uber. Now, Uber is taking some specific steps to improve safety for both drivers and passengers. With its new app functions, passengers and drivers will be able to contact 911 directly on their phones. From the app, they're also introduced to new PIN codes that ensures that passengers get in the right car. And now they're doing continuous background checks on drivers. Uber also says they will do a safety study of this kind every 2 years so the public will see how they're doing with these types of updates. Well, it's time for your speed feed, stories that you'll probably see on social media this morning. After a week of backlash, the Peloton bike girl needed a night out. Well, that's where actor Ryan Reynolds comes in. You probably heard last week an ad for the exercise bike featuring this actress was ridiculed and declared sexist by pretty much everybody on the internet. But this week the actress popped up in a new ad for Reynolds Gin. It showed her toasting to new beginnings and gulping down a cocktail. At the end of the ad, one of her friends tells her, "You look great, by the way." The ad already has over 3 million views on YouTube. The banana artwork that sold for $120,000 was eaten by a performance artist. He called the performance "Hungry Artist." Now, good news is this artist won't face any charges. The art gallery replaced the banana and said the act did not damage the piece. And Miss South Africa.
Posting pictures online of the show, but I need to watch it myself.
It's entertaining. I usually eat with a bucket of ice cream.
There we go. Yeah.
All right. It is a 5:38 right now. Still ahead. Gonzaga men's basketball game came home with another win. In the next 8 minutes, how the team's three-pointers led them to victory.
And brothers from Southern Idaho have accomplished something only a select few have before them. In our next half hour, how the twins collected every single Boy Scout merit badge.
And congratulations to Charlotte Smith. You just won 2 Up with KREM coffee mugs, coffee beans, and a gift card to Thomas Hammer Coffee Roasters. Now, if you want to enter to win something like this, you can subscribe to our KREM newsletter or just go on our Up with KREM Facebook page.